What's good? G Money Richie back on the track. First things first, I know it's been around 3 months since I uploaded. There's been a lot going on, and now I got shit to say. So, in today's video, the main topic that I want to touch on is the fact that you only have 4,000 weeks on this motherfucking planet. You have 4,000 weeks, and depending on your age, you've already lived over 1,200 of them. So, what are you doing every single day to make sure that you are living the most efficient life possible? Especially now, me realizing in the past 3 months, what I've been doing is I've been building my business, Perseus.io. Essentially, we're doing AI services for a bunch of different companies. And the biggest thing I realized is that speed is the most important thing that you can have as a business owner or as just any individual who just wants to be successful. You need to have speed. From the moment you have an idea to the moment that you execute, it needs to be fucking seamless, and there needs to be no gap in terms of time. Because if there is, then that means you're going to turn to 2027, December 31st, having the exact same fucking goals you had last year. So have speed, have efficiency, and be efficient in what you do in your life and the goals that you set for yourself. If you have no intention, then there's no intention. If you have no intention with your day, you have no intention with your life. And having an intentionless life is just setting yourself up for failure. So every day you should be waking up with, what am I doing to get closer to my goals? What am I doing to actually make sure that I'm making use of the 4,000 weeks I have on this earth before I die? Especially when it comes to the limiting belief factor. And for me, starting these businesses and pushing to, from 2K a month to 5K a month to 8K a month, is those limiting beliefs and those limiting actions that I do have. Every single day that you have those, nothing is going to evaporate those doubts and those things that you have in your mind except for action. The only time you can alleviate any sort of anxiety that you do have is by getting the fuck to work. So stop sitting there. The number one thing I had to tell myself, especially over this past year, is to stop sitting there. Stop thinking about the idea. Stop jotting it down. Stop putting all these plans in order when that's the only action you're taking. If the only action you're taking is planning the execution, that means there will never be execution. If the only planning that you're doing is planning the execution, then there will never be any execution. The only time things will work is when the first thing you do is you take action. Starting to plan something is not fucking taking action. That's like you thinking about you're going to go to the gas station. You thinking about you going to the gas station is not the same as you putting on your shoes, tying the shoelace, opening the fucking door, and going. The moment you have the idea of going to the gas station, you shouldn't be thinking about all those actions and steps you need to do to get there. You just need to get the fuck up and go. And that's the same thing that is required when you are aiming for success. You're aiming for high levels of income. You're aiming to start a business. You're aiming for anything. Is the only thing that should be on your mind is to go. So keep in mind, you only have 4,000 weeks. Every Monday, your lifespan gets shorter and shorter and shorter. If you have no plan and you have no action, then that means you're truly lost. And the number one thing that you need to do to start getting there is only action. And I know everybody, you want to hear some magic pill. You want to hear some journal entries that are going to help. You want to find some videos. You want to find some podcasts. You want to find some books that are going to help you get to your goals faster. None of them are going to help. Yes, they're going to give you the information and the knowledge, but I know so many people, especially in these past 3 months, working with different, entrepreneurs with different business philosophies. They're spending too much time in this knowledge, in this fucking knowledge echo chamber of, I have this book, I read this book, this podcast, this video, this. None of that shit fucking helps you. None of that shit fucking helps you. And then the number one thing you got to realize too is you cannot take advice from those people. You cannot take advice from people who are information addicts. Information addicts will make you have self-delusions in terms of your business. They're going to say, why are you doing it this way? Why didn't you upload it in that format? Why are you uploading it at this time? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? At least it's fucking getting uploaded. So stop worrying about those things. Stop worrying about when, how, who, what, where, when, X, Y, and Z, and just fucking do it. Yeah, man. On top of all this as well, we are going into a new year, right? We already in 2026. Today is January 4th. And I've seen all these viral reels, these videos of all these people thinking that things are going to change going into 2026. And let me tell you this: we all know resolutions don't work. You've heard that advice before. Whatever. If you weren't on a run before 2026, nothing is going to change in 2026. A calendar changing is not going to dictate your discipline. It's not going to dictate your reason why. It's just a reset. It's a reminder of how much you've been fucking up. All of your limiting beliefs, all of the self-delusions you tell yourself, all the days you said you're going to rest, and all the fucking times you thought about the external and thought about what other people would think. That's what it is. That's the only reminder it is. Nothing's going to change. And until you decide, you can decide that today. You can decide that fucking July 5th. It's all about making that decision. And the only reason you feel like making that decision on January 1st is because you're getting that reminder. That reminder should occur every fucking day. If it takes 12 months for you to have a reminder of how much you've been fucking up and wasting time, then I'm sorry, you're lost and nothing's ever going to work out for you. If you don't look at the end of a 24-hour day and look back and see how much time you wasted and how much you could have done better, how the fuck is 12 months going to change that? So start analyzing every single day opposed to analyzing every single year. If you don't have that same feeling of time lost at the end of that 24-hour mark when you hit the pillow, and it takes you a whole year to have that single feeling, then you are never going to reach your goals. Because what it takes to actually, reach 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month is to have that deep-seated feeling of you're not doing enough on a reoccurring basis, daily, hourly, every 30 minutes. What did I just do? What did I just do in these 30 minutes? What did I just do in this hour that is helping me forward to that goal? That's what you need to have. You don't need to have that January 1st reminder. You need to have that daily reminder of how much time you've wasted. So start implementing that into your daily mindset and framework. The last thing I'll touch on in this video is that feeling that a lot of people do have. The feeling of they're behind, they're not doing enough, you know what I mean? That they could be working harder and all that kind of stuff. And what you need to start doing is you need to stop looking for a fucking pat on the back. No one's gonna tell you and pat you on the back and rub you and say, yeah, you're doing enough. Don't worry, you can take that day off. You can do this, you can do that. No, you can't. You can't afford to take a day off. You can't afford to rest, to step back and recalculate. Those are all just excuses masked as productivity. Nothing's fucking happening in those times. The reason you feel like that, the reason you feel behind, the reason you feel like you could be doing more is because you fucking can be. So stop looking for a pat on the back and just get the fuck to work before you die, because you only have 4,000 weeks on this planet before you're 6 feet under, left, forgotten for good. So stop letting all these self-beliefs and these limiting beliefs stop you from taking action on your goals, and just get to work. That's the only solution. That's the only advice that will ever work. There's all these execution tips, mental frameworks, focus things, focus this, focus that. If you have the right vision, you have the discipline, you have the reason why you want to do these things, the reason that you feel that you're behind, if that's there, then you're not going to need no motivation. You're not going to need no podcast. You're not going to need no book. All you're going to need is a fucking plan of action to execute on. So just do it. That's everything for today's video. I love you guys. Videos are going to be coming out more consistently. So start off tomorrow strong. Peace.